point. There's no reinvention from. It's not classical and non-classical logic.
Okay.
That's not the
No
distinction
one
here.
is saying the Neoplatonists don't derive a lot of their knowledge from Plato's teaching. That's why they're called
No, that's not the
Neoplatonists.
point.
Obviously. But
No,
obviously it's
Neoplatonists are Platonists. They are Platonists. They are expatiating
oh my
Plato's
god,
view. That's their perspective.
obvious fuckingly.
So your definition was wrong
No,
because you said
it's not. No,
yes,
it's not because
because you said Neoplatonism was derived from classical Platonist philosophy. How can it be derived from classical Platonist philosophy if the whole philosophy is that they are the classical Platonist philosophy? What are
it's
you
not.
talking
Wait.
about?
Oh my god.
You don't know what you're talking about.
This is so. I don't know what I'm talking about. Bros bring up
I don't think
Neoplatonists.
you know what you're talking
Hasn't
about, my
read
friend.
any of Plato's
Like, what
dialogues.
is he talk? Yo, Nassar, please come up, please, because you might have read it more than me, please.
Look, Neoplatonism is
Okay,
a school of thought.
so because it has neo, that means it's. Oh my god, this is so stupid.
Look,
Because it has the prefix neo
I
there.
honestly cannot believe someone's actually saying this. You think someone who is taking most of Plato's views and trying to reconcile them with a lot of objections and maybe reinterpret some of them and changes some of them isn't a Neoplatonist?
You are not understanding the point. The point is that you keep saying, "Oh, they take it from Plato." They're saying that they are Plato's views. It's like, for example, it's like how JEWs.
No, look, I'm obviously most of their views are going to be Plato's views.
No,
I'm saying
no,
those
that's
views
not the
are
point. Oh my
reinterpreted
God.
and changed oftentimes. You
Okay,
wouldn't
look,
call
let's just
someone
go
who
back. Let's just go back on
reinterpreted
the
Plato's
argument.
views not a Neoplatonist.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry. Let's just go back on the substance of the conversation. So you don't seem to deny that there's a real distinction between essence and existence.
I want to get in. You brought in the act potency distinction. That's what I was interested in.
The act potency distinction is not formally even. It's not even materially contained in my argument, though.
Okay, look, I'll fine. I'll just grant it. Go ahead. What now?
Okay, so what's the critique to my argument?
I'll grant everything to the last part of your argument.
That's not even possible. That's not even possible. That'll just be a contradiction.
No, I said the last premise. What was your last premise?
Oh, you said the last premise? Okay, cool. I think you said the conclusion. All right, let me find my argument. I apologize for talking to you like that earlier, by the way. But yeah, here's my last premise. So premise 8 is a being whose essence is existence itself is what is meant by God. That's the last premise, premise 8. Do you disagree with that?
Oh, a being whose essence is exist. Well, obviously that's not what we mean by God. God has more features than that. But like, okay, surely if you want to, I'll grant that, and then you can move on to explaining why he has the omni properties, etc.
Okay. Okay, this point is is quite interesting. So my argument goes true with the idea that wait, let me compute this real quick. So are you saying that my argument goes true if so my argument is true insofar as God is necessary and he's like his being's
there's
identical
no God. Stop using that language. So far we have some sort of
you granted all my premises though.
I granted that a being exists whose essence is existence.
You granted all of them and then you told me I should show you how there's omni properties in God, right? And then I
don't agree. We don't like let's be honest here. No one when we're referring to God just means a being whose essence is equal to its existence or something like that. No, that's not what anyone here means when they say God. They obviously mean someone with all the omni properties.
Hold on. So first off, you grant that there is a being, right?
Yes.
Whose essence is existence.
Yes.
Okay, so you grant that there's a being whose essence is existence.
Yes.
And that's what we mean by God.
No, well, then if that's all you mean by God, then I can grant God exists, but that's not what we're interested in here. We're interested in whether there's a sort of perfect being with the omni properties. We're not interested in whether, the being in the sense you're talking about exists. Like, that's like saying, oh, actually, I define God as the universe and something. No, that's not what we're interested in here. We're interested in
Who's
does the
we?
perfect
What do you mean? That's not
what
what
the background
we're
what the
interested in.
background is asking for is
Who's
evidence
we?
for God. What me, monkey boy, the people running this live are asking for, whether what we're asking for God, we're asking whether a perfect being exists, whether a being with the omni properties exists. We're not asking whether a being whose existence is identical to their essence exists. Like that's
Bro,
not what we're asking for.
bro, bro. Look,
And Aquinas, like,
do you know what the theists mean by divine simplicity?
yeah, yes.
What did it mean? What did it mean?
Well, you're talking about the doctrine of divine simplicity, that God is ultimately simple. He doesn't have any parts. He's not composed.
Yeah. Like in one simple proposition, right? In classical theism, it's just God does not have attributes the way creatures do. God is what he has, right? But now if you're saying that God is what he has and God does not have attributes the way creatures do, then my Aki, my brother, you're a classical theist. You're like me. So
What I
just come to
never
the
said.
church.
What I never wait. I never agreed with the doctrine of divine simplicity. All I agreed was that there's some being whose essence is his existence. That's not. That's not what we're interested in. Though we're interested in, does an omni property God exist, or does a God with some mind exist? We're not
Bruh.
interested.
Okay, so wait, let me ask you. So who do you think this being is?
Who? That's like
Yeah,
basically the
or
question. Who this being is?
yeah.
Look, I don't grant that
What do you think?
it's a personal being.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, right.
like I don't grant it's a mind or
You
has
don't
a
grant that's
mind.
a personal being. So what do you think it is?
I don't know. Like I'm not making any claims about its ontology. I just agreed. I said I granted all your premises for the sake of argument. I'm just interested in why it has to have a mind.
Okay, so the being okay, cool. So do you know what? I'm actually gonna try this. So
Well,
you've agreed with my
Aquinas
first
doesn't. By the
argument.
way, Aquinas doesn't just stop here. Aquinas gives arguments for what has certain properties, what has like.
You do realize this wasn't even Aquinas's argument? You do realize that?
Oh, I don't know where you stole this argument from, but
It's an expatiation of Aquinas' views, right? But it's not necessarily Aquinas' argument. Aquinas
that's fine. I'm
never
just
even made the
saying.
argument the same
I'm
with
just saying,
theologian.
like Thomas,
So what's the point? I was like, what's the point to what you just said, bro?
because you brought up Thomism quite a few times, and I'm just saying
I literally said I'm
and
not
this
a
is
Thomist.
okay. Okay, whatever. I'm just
That's the only
saying
reason why I brought
most.
it up.
Let me make a more general statement. Most people who run these sort of arguments and say that God is the first mover, they have another step in their argument where they argue God has properties like a mind, or he's all powerful. They don't just stop in saying that it's the first mover.
The whole point is you didn't just accept that he's the first mover. You said he's the first existential, essential principle to everything that's living, meaning he cannot have no body parts. He can never be
You're
material.
pulling that out
Yes,
of your ass. I never said any
you
of them.
agreed to all the premises in my argument. Do you know what my argument indicates
Wait,
formally?
let me remind you. The
So
conclusion
you
of your
just looked
argument.
at my argument and said, "Yeah, I agree, bro," and then I'm giving you the details of my argument, and they're like, "I
Wait,
don't agree anymore."
no. The argument, the conclusion of your argument was that there is some being whose existence is his essence. His essence is his existence. That's what I agreed to.
Yeah, and what do you think that means, my brother? What do you think that means?
What do I think that means? I think that means that there is
Divine
some
simplicity,
being
right?
out in the world whose essential property is that they exist. That's what it means.
Divine simplicity, right?
The doctrine of divine simplicity is separate from this argument, and I didn't grant that.
This argument literally proves divine simplicity. The essay argument from Aquinas proves divine simplicity.
no,
because he's arguing from how creatures have contingent existence, and by necessary existence he gives the metaphysical explanans as to what makes that necessary existence
Okay.
necessarily simple.
What do you think? What do you think divine simplicity is?
I just told you, I gave you the proposition. Divine simplicity is the thesis that God is not composed of any
Yeah,
parts.
and
He's simple,
yes,
and the whole point is that composition for Aquinas would also not just pertain to essential properties, but it's also going to pertain to its existence, right? And the whole point is God isn't composite in existence, so he's divinely simple. That's the reason why the argument follows.
Wait, the reason the argument follows is you begging the question. I don't. You begging the question.
How am I begging the question when you agree to all the premises?
Wait, look. Look, let me just.
How can I beg the question if you agree?
Oh my God, let me talk.
What am I
Let me
begging
talk.
the question for?
Let me talk. Look, you just said before, the argument follows because God is actually not composed. That's the last line of what you said. Look, and
God is not composed, right, of contingent existence. That's the whole point. His existence doesn't have his existence is not composite of potential existence and actual existence. His existence is necessarily actual, right?
Okay,
His existence is necessarily actual and undivided.
And a counterexample. Okay, suppose that there's some being who exist in every single possible world.
I could just give you the argument as to why God is personal, if you want.
Look, so would you reject a being who exists in every single possible world, so necessarily exist? It has...
I don't even think that, like, when you speak, you have, like, an account of what makes something possible, necessary, these type of modal accounts, things of that sort.
Why would I need an account of what makes something possible, what makes something necessary to deliver?
Because then we just start speaking about mumbo jumbo. So, like, for example, just in this case, let's just talk about contingent things and necessary things, in the sense that one has the ability to exist and not exist, one doesn't have the ability to not exist. So we can talk from there, because then we've specified the mode of contingency and necessity we're talking about, and we have a good, simple understanding of it.
Well, that's not what you asked me for. You asked me an account of when things are possible. Like, that's different than saying, what does possibility mean?
Yeah, I'm direct. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm telling you right now what we should talk about in this conversation right now, which is going to be what we mean by God being necessarily existent, and that just is divine simplicity.
No, well, what I meant when I say necessary, that's not what divine simplicity is. Divine simplicity isn't God being necessarily existent. Necessarily existent means that God exists in every possible world. That doesn't mean that God is divinely simple.
The two things are materially the same, though.
Okay.
Yes, if God is necessarily,
One second, we stop the bullshit. Like, 1 second, you're saying that
there is no BS.
You're saying that necessarily existing God existing in every single possible world is just equivalent or materially the same as being divinely simple. Like, this is just bullshit.
Yeah, it's material. Do you know what materially the same means? Material similarity. Because in order for you to know it's BS, I'm going to assume that you know what it is. So what is it?
Material similarity?
Material identity.
What I would take it to mean is that they're the same in virtue of all their material properties. Like, that's...
Okay, and what's the material properties?
Material properties? I can give you examples of material properties. I'm not going to give you...
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
The table in front of me has a material property of having wood. Like, that's a material property.
Do angels have material properties?
I don't know the notion of you're using.
Like, just like the simple concept of a spiritual being. Does he have material properties? Just a simple concept.
I don't know under your definition, but under my definition, no. Angels wouldn't have those material properties.
Oh, so an angel wouldn't have material properties. So then you don't know what material identity is.
Not in the way you're using it now.
So then how are you going to say it's BS if you don't know what I mean by it?
Look, so you can't just throw out random
How does that
terms.
make any sense?
Look,
This is what I'm saying. You're being dishonest.
Oh my god, this is so okay. So
You're
you're
being
saying that
dishonest.
oh my fucking god, you're saying in no context do you hear a person saying
Bro,
words?
what?
Oh, this is so fucking stupid. You're saying in no context do you hear people saying fucking words, which have a common usage, by the way, and you're using words out of line with that common
Bro,
usage.
what are
And-
you talking about?
And you say, okay, you're saying something insane. Look, let me give you a fucking example. If someone said, "Look, there's cheese in front of me," and there's clearly no cheese
You're
in front
saying
of me.
BS to a negation?
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
Let me fucking speak for 1 second. So if
Go ahead, brother.
if somebody went up to you and said, "Hey, look, there's cheese in front of you," and they're like, "There's no fucking cheese here," and they're like, "Actually, by cheese, I meant something like salad." Like, and then you're saying, "Oh my god, you're fucking crazy," because
bro,
how could you know that? How
You're
could you
way
say I'm
off, you're
insane
way
if you don't
off.
know what I mean by that term? Like, holy
You're way
shit.
off. It's okay. Can I give you the argument as to why God is a person now, so we can move on to substance?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Over the
cool,
argument.
cool. So a person is going to be, it's not going to be something like a human organism or a psychological organism or a brain state. It's just going to be a subsistent intellectual individuation, a subsistent intellectual supposit, a subsistent intellectual agent. An agent here isn't being used to signify something with consciousness or whatever. It's just a simple, subsistent intellectual subject. And so,
Wait, it's intellectual, doesn't have consciousness?
So what'd you say?
It's intellectual and doesn't have consciousness?
Yeah, consciousness is a consequence of intellect. Well, consequence, sorry, is not a consequence.
Okay, look, if consciousness is
Let me finish my statement.
a consequence of intellect, it cannot have
But sorry, real quick. Consciousness and intellection are formally distinct. So you can have intellection without consciousness, because I take the Granarian definition of consciousness, which he gave in his book on Thomistic Philosophy, and consciousness in that state would just be the act of self-awareness in motion. God doesn't have motion, so he doesn't have consciousness in that state. But some people can say that God is conscious, analogically speaking, insofar as they could say that God is aware of his love for the Father, for this instance, in the Trinitarian model, would be aware of his love for the Son and the Holy Spirit, and vice versa. But yeah, you could take it analogically speaking, but really speaking, simplistically speaking, or univocally speaking, that would be denied.
Okay.
So would you agree with my definition? Because
I don't care about your definition. I'll just say we'll use the definition for the sake of argument and go on.
Okay, my argument is very dependent on my definition. So are you sure you agree with my definition?
Definitions aren't truth conducive. Just use the definition.
Yeah, but they're still derivative. They're still derivatively true, though.
Look, definitions are not propositions.
It doesn't matter. They're still derivated from truths. So my point is that my argument.
Oh my god, you can define terms however you want to define them. Just move on with the argument.
Okay, cool. Okay, so my argument, my prior argument.
Oh my god, shut up, G1. This is so dumb. Christian is just gonna sit in. Okay, this is so stupid. So Detroit, this guy said Julian getting his confidence back because Detroit here is so stupid. It was so stupid.
Wait, do you know G1? Do you know G1?
No, I just thought the comment was hilarious.
Yo, G1 is actually smarter than me in these topics. So, but yeah, what was I gonna say? All right, so my previous argument that I gave to you was gonna be concluding to the idea that there is a being whose essence is his existence. So that being necessarily is pure act, because those things are just materially the same thing. And that being would also be the cause of all forms, nature, and intelligibility of structure, because of the premises that you conceded to in saying that that being has to be necessarily productive of the other contingent beings. Now, in that case, then if the source of all intelligible natures was unintelligent, intelligibility would come from non-intelligibility. But that's just explanatorily false. So God would have to be at least intelligent. What's your response?
Oh no, yeah, I don't agree. I think obviously hypothetically it's possible for non-intelligent life to give rise to intelligent life, it happened via evolution. Like imagine a world without God. Via evolution, it
Nah,
would happen to bring about more intelligent life.
And if you have kids, it might happen again.
Okay.
nah. I think we're talking about different categories. So we're like talking about like biological categories and metaphysical categories. You're saying like in biologically speaking, it's plausible that it's plausible of that the proposition non-intelligent life can give rise to intelligent life is true because of our biological data, and therefore it's thus. Well, I would conclude that maybe you're then trying to say that it's thus metaphysically irrelevant unless we
No.
qualify
What I'm
what we
saying
mean.
is that your principle fails. The principle is that intelligent life must come from other intelligent life. And I'm saying this principle fails. We can just look at a biological example.
Yeah, but the principle doesn't fail because the whole point is that there's a distinction between an unintelligent process being a vehicle, instrumental, or a mode of generation, but unintelligibility being the principle or the ultimate source of intelligibility itself. That's why I'm saying it's false. I'm saying there are Christians and there are Roman Catholics that believe in evolution, all right, and they would explain it by maybe some as Jesuit in a Jesuit sense, or
You
according to
don't
some
even have to
Franciscans or whatever.
believe in
But
evolution. You could just suppose in some world.
I know, but like the point is that the unintelligent process in evolution, biologically speaking, is just a vehicle. It's just a mode of generation. It's not the principle of generation. It's like, for example, what's it called? When I put tea in my cup
Yeah, okay,
and I
but
carry my
I don't
cup,
think there
my cup
has
is.
to. I don't think there has to be a principle of generation in the sense you're talking about. Then, because that's another thing that your argument doesn't show. That's
Wait, sorry, repeat that. You don't think there has to be what?
I don't think there has to be this principle of generation like you're talking about. That's not included in your argument. That's additional assumption.
I did tell you that the existential necessary being is going to be productive of all these other contingent existences, but that
By
doesn't really
productive,
matter.
I thought you meant it brings about the effects which the evolutionary process does.
Okay. Cool. I can show you why you take this principle. Wait, let me just drink some water. Jesus.
Why do you when you get one of these Aristotelian guys on your live, like all of them come storming in? They have like one big group and they all just come in.
No. They only came in because, well, I don't know about the rest, but I sent a couple of them this live. I sent them this live myself. I shared it a couple minutes ago. So, but so you said that you don't think there has to be a principle of generation, but like, if you're saying that you don't have to think there's a principle of generation, then you're saying that how to explain this? Like the principle of generation is just a very general explanatory principle used like everywhere,
But okay,
even outside
if
this
it's
debate.
as
Because
general as you're talking about,
if you're denying it, you'd be saying that nothing can give what it doesn't have, at least virtually or eminently.
wait, nothing can give what it doesn't have.
Yeah, nothing can give what it doesn't have, because if there's no principle of generation, okay, let's say, for example, in Fregean logic, or for Frege, when he converts existential values with numerical values, when he converts like the notion of existence with numerical values, let's say existence is
The
non-existence right now
notion,
is
Phrygian, I don't know what you're talking about. Phrygian logic.
Frege.
I know, I'm very familiar with him.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking. Like, he's a famous neologist. I don't know what you're talking about when you're saying.
Is he just talking about there's two x's, so like there's an x, there's a y, so they're both of that sort, and they're not identical, that sort of thing.
I mean, like the whole point is that I'm giving the analogy from Frege's notion of existence onto here, because he seems to me that he's a contemporary philosopher and he's probably going to more likely be engaged with what I'm talking about. I can give him the analogy from my own scholastics, of course, but I just don't want there to be that much of a linguistic barrier. But anyways, my fundamental point is that if you're denying the principle that there is, if you're denying that there is a principle of generation, then you would be saying that nothing can give to something what nothing doesn't even have.
Wait,
Right?
nothing.
Because there is no principle of what is giving to that thing. So you'd be saying that 0 could give to X what 0 does not have. But 0 is just 0. 0 is a negation.
What?
That's why I brought up the Frege example, because he interpreted existence as numerical values, and I wanted to make the analogy of that.
0 is a negation.
But you see what I'm saying?
Somehow you think that, like, if we deny that in order for something to cause something or to give something to something, it must, like, have it in the thing in some sense.
No,
therefore,
he didn't deny intrinsic.
Nothing.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but just to keep in mind, so that when you're talking, we can actually talk about what you're talking about. He didn't deny intrinsic principles of generation. He denied principles of generation in total. Even on what you're talking about, you would have extrinsic principles of generation. Principle in this case is just the source, the reason why. Something that doesn't even have to be the reason why.
I didn't explicitly.
Just the why.
One, I don't know the difference. I don't know the difference between the two things you're talking about, intrinsic, extrinsic principle generation. I just denied that there would have to be some form of principle of generation in the sense you're talking about, where evolution can't bring about intelligent life. There would have to be some form of principle for evolution to bring about intelligent life, which may not exist. I think even without some form of principle in the sense you're talking about, if we're just talking about the process of evolution, et cetera, and that brings about intelligent life, I don't think you need something like a principle to explain why there's intelligent life there. That's what I said.
Well, but what I'm saying, I'm not saying that evolution, I'm not saying evolution presupposes actual intelligent life. I'm just saying that it presupposes the possibility of intelligence being founded or grounded in reality. So if we can make a distinction between actual intelligence, so like human beings and minds, like maybe angels or whatever, and then you could have like the metaphysical conditions for intelligence being possible. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the metaphysical conditions for what makes intelligible possible at all. And I'm going to ask you, do you think that intelligence is even possible given the nature of reality, or is it just something like an accident that can happen in different realities?
What? Of course it's possible. It's instantiated. Of course intelligence is possible.
Okay, do you think intelligence is possible given the nature of reality? So given the nature,
we witness.
Okay, then that means that reality has the resources for intelligence.
Yes, and evolution can bring about intelligence.
But then if reality has the resources for intelligence, and reality here is just going to signify essence, because reality is just going to signify being, then if God has necessarily his essence conjoined with existence, meaning that he is necessarily essential and existential, then he would have the resources for intelligence. But if he has the resources for intelligence, that just assumes that he is intelligent. No, because he has satisfied the conditions for metaphysical intelligence.
So if you have
you just said
by your logic, we can conclude, since in this hypothetical world, let's assume God doesn't exist. If there was, by evolution, it brought about intelligence.
Why would I assume?
Since that natural system that brought about intelligent life had the resources to bring about intelligent life, it must now itself be intelligent. We can conclude that by.
Okay, so cool. Are you agreeing then? This is ridiculous. Are you agreeing that God then has the resources for intelligence? And do you know what I mean by resources for intelligence? Before you deny what I'm saying, do you know what I mean?
If it's another idiosyncratic definition, just whatever.
Then why does this guy keep denying shit that he doesn't know? What I mean?
You can't have a conversation if you have a bunch of terms and you're just using them in your own idiosyncratic ways. That's not how communication works.
I've not been trying to communicate to you like that, bro.
Like, if you're not using the common usage of a word, you have to make it clear to the person listening in on the argument.
Then just ask me, what do
I'm not
I
going to ask you
mean?
what every fucking word you're saying means. Like, no, I'm not
You've
doing
not
that.
been doing that, bro. Calm down.
Oh my god!
Anyways.
Like, no, this argumentative move you're doing, where you're like, oh my gosh, you're being ridiculous. How are you going to deny what I'm saying? If you
You're
don't know
kind
what
of
it
being
means?
ridiculous though, because the reason why is because you wouldn't just like answer with it. You'd be like, oh, that's just ridiculous, but you don't even know what I mean. So that's just weird to me. You don't know what I mean, but
Again,
you're like, oh, that's
I gave you an
ridiculous.
example. If I said, like, look, bro, there's cheese in front of you, and you're like, that's ridiculous. There's no cheese there. But I'm like, oh, actually, by cheese, I meant a hot dog. You're ridiculous for saying when you didn't know what I meant by cheese.
Why the hell would you call a hot dog cheese? That's a skill issue.
Yeah, well, yeah, and why the hell would you use a bunch of these terms to do syncretically?
I'm trolling.
Nonsense argument that was given, because like JamBar agreed that okay, in some sense the world or the universe has the resources for intelligence. Basically, I understand that to say something like it's configured in a way that allows for that sort of thing to obtain, right? Okay, and then what's his face? Veritas says something like, okay, well that's another way of saying that like being has those resources, or existence has those resources, and God is being, so God has those resources, and then it somehow follows from that, which is a total non sequitur, that God is intelligent. Like, that's two like just howlers of non sequitur inferences. Like it's like ridiculous. Like why are we entertaining this?
Non sequitur inferences. Okay. Okay. Cool. So are you saying it's non sequitur when I said that if reality has resources for intelligence and God is reality, God is being, therefore God has...
He doesn't agree that God is reality. What? Saying that
if he's saying friction. If he's saying that God is necessarily being and necessarily existent, is he then saying that God is not real, but he's necessarily being and existent?
There's a difference between God.
Like, what are you talking about?
Ridiculous equivocation. You're equivocating between real and reality.
Oh my God.
For sake of argument, that God is real. But that's not to say that God is reality. That's nonsense. Okay. That's not his view. That's not my view.
Wait. Okay, I apologize. Make this make sense to me.
Yeah.
So something can exist necessarily, if necessarily. Something can exist and have being, and not be real.
No, that's not what's being said.
Okay,
something
that's
can
my
exist
whole
and have
point,
being and be real, but not be reality itself. But do you understand the difference between being real and being reality? And his saying that reality has this feature is not to say that anything that's real has that feature. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Friction. Comments are killing me. Wait, friction.
Are you serious that you don't understand the difference between being real and being reality?
Friction. Please understand what I'm saying. All right, please understand.
I understand what you're saying better than you did. You just made a ridiculous equivocation.
Okay, cool. Let's calm down with the rhetoric. Let's actually try to get back to the substance, because I really want you guys to understand this. Are you telling me you've already agreed that if God has essence and existence, he's real? So wait, excuse me.
No, I think all that's nonsense. I think all that's unintelligible nonsense. But I'm willing to grant that God is necessary, or whatever. Fine.
Okay, friction. Keep in mind this is about my brother over here, Jam. Now, friction. You agree that if God has essence and existence, he's real. So you telling me that Jam never said God is real. No, I don't care, brother, because that's what's supposed when he says that God has essence and existence.
No, you're making the same equivocation. He said he never said that God is reality, right? That's the difference. You don't have the difference between being reality itself and being real.
But if God is, bro. But if God has essence and existence, then he is reality. He is real. That's the whole point.
No, you're making the same stupid, dumbass equivocation. You just said, and he is real.
Okay, so God. So okay,
those are different things.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So your issue.
Reality.
I'm so sorry. So your issue is me using the word reality instead of real. I'm so sorry.
It's not just using the word instead. It's a terrible equivocation that licensed inference for something that JamBar said to something that doesn't follow and he would not agree to. That's why their inference was laughably ridiculous.
Okay, sit down.
Relax, I said you are money instead of you have money. Your mistake. You're complaining about.
So the whole issue was real and reality. Keep in mind, this guy. Wait, Devil. this guy, because this is your bestie, Devil. This guy said, this Jam guy agreed that God is necessarily being and existence. So if they're so like stoic on using the word real over reality, materially it's the same thing, because you're saying that God is the only being that is necessarily existent and essential. So that's the whole point.
Wait, I never
No, what
said
does
that
that have
God is the
anything to
only
do with what
being.
I said? Yeah,
Okay,
he's not
because the
related to
whole
God being
point,
the only real thing.
because the issue that you guys had was me using the word reality for God. And my point is that it's just going to follow that God is reality. But it doesn't even matter. Anyways,
But
back to the substance.
the issue is that when
The substance, brother. The substance, because we don't want to bore the people. Jambar, come off mute. Jambar, come off mute.
Okay.
Jambar, come off mute.
What do you want?
Okay, cool. So, what was the argument? Okay, so cool. So he agrees that God is necessarily existent and being. The argument now is going to be for God being intelligent. So you agree that God has the resources for intelligent, meaning that God has the necessary and sufficient conditions for intelligent because of reality itself.
Okay, what is having the
agree or no?
resources for me?
I just told you, meaning that God has the necessary and sufficient conditions for existence. It's like how in philosophical literature we would say,
Philosophical literature, okay.
the people, yeah, in philosophical literature, not biological literature. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Now, in philosophical literature back then, they would be like, oh yeah, the scholastics, the Aristotelians, the Neoplatonists, the direct acquaintance. These people didn't have the conceptual resources. And by that, they just mean the amount of conceptual tools and linguistic devices that we use in contemporary or analytic philosophy. And the whole point is just a term to signify necessary and sufficient conditions that make something or a specific framework good. And in this instance, you're saying that the necessary and sufficient conditions that belong to reality also pertain to intelligence. But if God contracts being and existence,
the problem is like their use of the English language is kind of crazy here. Like, it's just a bunch of terms.
You need to read some poetry. Read some poetry.
Read Sage's comment, JamBar.
Wait, I can't see it. Wait, just read it to me.
I was just Cliff exposed JamBar so badly I wouldn't even clutch my purse when walking by him.
No, the problem with like when you're making claims is there's just so much verbose language being used that it just ends up sounding like nobody knows what's going on. So I'm going to need you to make it clear. Just give me a precise definition of what having the resources is.
Okay, having the resources means satisfying the necessary and sufficient conditions in reality that pertain to intelligence.
So you see. Wait. So having the resources necessarily has to do with having intelligence?
Having the resources necessarily has to do what?
You said the definition of having the resources is having the necessary and sufficient conditions for intelligence. Really?
The definition of having resources, the way that I'm just telling you the way that I'm using resources. It's like a linguist. It's just like a metaphor for what I'm talking about.
Oh,
it's
so,
like,
and you know,
too much.
like I really okay. So, and it has nothing to necessarily do with intelligence. So I don't know why you added that part in with your definition.
What do you mean, bro?
Look,
what do you mean that it has nothing to do with intelligence?
Because I think by having the resources, you mean having the necessary and sufficient conditions. And in your definition, you said it's having the necessary and sufficient conditions for intelligence.
Yeah. So how would it have nothing to do with intelligence?
Oh, so wait, so under your definition, literally, so it doesn't even make sense to say having the resources for intelligence, because that would mean you have the necessary conditions for intelligence for intelligence. It's obviously not how you're
saying. What is this guy talking about?
Yeah, but even aside from that, the best reading of this principle now is just going to be something too strong. It's going to be something that neither of us are going to accept, right?
But he accepted it. That's the whole point.
No,
is friction tracking?
No,
he accepted it, my brother.
No, he didn't.
What are you talking about?
No, he didn't. What he
yes, he did. That was my whole point. I can go back to when he accepted it. He accepted it at.
No,
he accepted it like. Wait, hold on.
He doesn't.
I have
he
the
didn't understand-
timestamp because
he
I wrote it down in
he
my
didn't
notes.
accept it under this understanding of the principle, right? He accepted that.
Okay,
that
he
the
accepted under
universal
what
reality-
understanding?
He accepted that the universe or the reality has the resources for intelligence in the sense that something like it makes those sorts of things
Crazy,
possible.
bro.
Not in the sense that it itself satisfies the necessary and sufficient conditions for intelligence.
Do you know what he
If
said?
you're-
I'm gonna tell you what he said, my brother. Because
How
I
is that
wrote
not
it down.
obvious? Do you understand the difference between the two things
I
I just
wrote
said?
it down. I wrote it down. So he said that 18 minutes ago. He said, "I'm not saying evolution presuppose." Well, sir, that's what I said. I asked him a question. I said, "Do you think intelligence is genuinely possible, given the nature of reality, right? Or
He
is
said
it
yes.
just an accident?" And then he said that it
He said
is
yes.
genuine. He said it is genuinely possible. Wait a minute.
Exactly.
He said it is genuinely possible given the nature of reality. So the account of its possibility is on the nature of realities. That means every time you have reality, you have intelligence. That's the whole
No,
point.
actually, so two things. That actually strictly
That's what
doesn't
he
follow. And
agreed
even if
to.
it- No, what he agreed to is not what you just said. It doesn't, what you just said does not follow what
Oh
you
my
agreed
God.
to. And even if he did agree to what you just said, it wouldn't follow the stronger claim that you made before. So that's again
Okay,
a double bad
wait.
inference.
Is it?
Do you want me
Did he
to explain
agree
that?
to?
Do you want me
Wait,
break
did
it
he
down?
agree to what I said, or did he not agree to what I said?
I did not agree.
He agreed
to
to the first. He agreed to the first.
He
thing
say that he didn't agree. Frick, you're not helping them out.
Correct.
Look. I said
Oh, that's correct now.
I did not agree to whatever. Look,
Yo, Monkey Boy, please come back.
The problem is it's not clear.
Yes, because now you're saying like 7 different things. And you're
What
saying
the
did he agree
fuck?
to what he said? He agreed to the first thing you said. More or less, he agreed
Bro,
to.
what is
then
this
he made a couple of inferences, and he didn't agree to any of those.
Yeah, exactly. That's
And
what I meant.
Not only
yes.
did he not
The
agree to any of
inferences,
those,
the
they're
ridiculous
straightforwardly not
inferences he made.
consequences.
Right. You guys don't even know what you're talking about.
I mean, I can break it down for you. Do you want me to explain it?
No, I'm saying Jamar doesn't understand what you're saying, and you don't even understand what he's saying.
I
JamBar.
understand pretty well what he's saying.
Back to what we're
But if you
saying.
want-
Back on Jamar.
If you want to
please.
get it clear, I
Wait.
can.
Oh,
I
should
can
I
tell you what
focus on
think he's
Jamar?
saying.
Should I focus on Jamar, or should I focus on you?
No, if you want to get it clear, I can tell you what I think that he's saying, and he can.
You're not making it
confirm
any
or deny
clearer. So do you want me to
Does
go
he
back
mean
on him?
JamBar or does he
Or
mean
do-
me?
No. Are you Jamar? What?
No, that's his name.
Yeah, that's my name.
Oh damn.
So his name is Jamar, but we
Oh
also.
no,
know Jambar.
I meant JamBar. I hate saying JamBar. It's like it's so long. I just rather say Jamar. Sorry, but I'll say Jam. I'll say Jam.
Yeah. So let me state what I think Jambar's position is, and he can tell me
Okay,
if
go
I'm
ahead, go
getting it right. Okay. So when he agreed that reality has the resources to make it possible, or something like that, basically saying that like the world as a whole has conditions which allow for that sort of thing to obtain, something like that, right? Is that more or less correct? Julie?
Oh yeah, that's correct. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah, and
Wait, sorry. Real quick before you continue.
Yeah.
Jambar said what you said is correct. Jambar, what is he saying?
Well, I said by having the resources to, I meant they have the right sort of conditions are there to bring about the effect you're talking about. Are sufficient to produce the effect that you're talking about, maybe with some form of action.
I put it on your life. That's not what he said, and I care about your life.
What?
That is not what Friction
I'm
said.
using having the resources.
That is not what Friction said at all.
Look, I'm just using it in the common sense definition of the words.
Bro said I put it on your life.
I put it on his because I care about his life. I genuinely do.
It's probably more or
BLM.
less what he was
BLM.
getting at.
But at
It's
the
just
end of the
using
day,
the
that's not
common
what
sense.
Slightly
Friction, that's not what
different
Friction
wording,
said.
but that's more or less what I had in mind.
That's not what Friction said at all.
Well, it's not what I said in terms
That's
of
why.
words,
That's
but
why I'm
it's
saying, should I
close
focus
enough.
on him or should I focus on you? Because I don't know if he understands what you're saying, and I don't know if you understand what he's saying. That's the issue.
Yeah, I think I understand what he's saying, and what I said was pretty close. I mean, maybe not exactly what he said, but it's a similar sort of thing, right?
Because it's
saying that-
causing friction in the conversation. Because I have to track two
Look,
people. at
we
the
were
same time.
both just using the
Well, you're
common.
not tracking the one to begin with, so
We were just using the
Oh,
common.
that was a
usage.
nice one. That was a good one, Friction. I like that.
We were just using the common usage of the word having the resources, right? That's more or less what we're both getting at. You're not using the common uses. Having the necessary and sufficient conditions is not the common usage of the
Yeah,
term.
So
so look,
Okay,
this
go ahead.
was my thought, right? So given this is what JamBar was committed to, at least as I think I understand it. If you said then having the resources required, having the resources for X required or included having the necessary sufficient conditions for
Okay, now I
counting
put it
as
on my
X, or
life.
for
I don't know
being
what you're
X,
talking about.
then
What are you saying? What are you
that's
saying? What are you
stronger than
saying?
his claim and not something that follows from it. Sorry,
Okay,
do you
wait.
want me to repeat?
Okay, cool. Can we stick on this real quick and then you can go, right? So you agree that he's saying, given the nature of reality, intelligence is genuinely possible. Meaning, every
Sure.
time you have the nature of reality, intelligence would be necessarily possible. As in to say that intelligence would always be possible once you have reality. Yes?
Well, hang on. Once you
Given
have
its
reality
nature.
with the
Yeah.
sort of nature that it in fact has, yeah, I think
No,
that does follow.
reality here is just signifying being, right?
No, because you could have a different reality that didn't have those resources, right? So I don't think it wants to say it's one separate reality, just
but then
simplistic.
you'd be disagreeing with my first proposition, because my first proposition is, do you think intelligence is genuinely possible given the nature of reality? The nature of reality is just talking about being. So then, given the nature of reality, do you think intelligence is genuinely possible? So that means there is no world where you have reality and intelligence would not be possible. That's the whole point.
There's multiple things going on here.
That's a
right?
question.
Yeah, there's multiple senses in which you might be talking about reality here. Right? If you're talking about
Bruh.
just from the nature of being or reality itself, which I'm not sure makes a lot of sense, but regardless.
Yeah, being.
Does it follow
Being,
that does it follow that it's possible that there's intelligence? Yeah, it might not be realizable at every possible world. Certainly, it's not. But like,
it might not be possible in every world.
No,
Okay, are you restricting reality in this case to mean to signify this individual reality? Like this set of conditions that we have.
So with what I just said, no. But elsewhere in the conversation, that was sort of implied, right? When we're talking about reality having the resources, we're talking about the world, like the actual world, right? We're not talking about
that was not implied, because in the argument that JamBar agreed with, you didn't agree with it, but the argument that this guy agreed with, JamBar, we're talking about reality in total, because we're talking about the necessary. We're talking about what's it called? The conceptual categorical differences between different aspects of reality, and those include essence and existence. So we're talking about reality in general. We're not talking about this universe or universe 2 or whatever.
Well,
But we're talking about reality
how
in
I
general.
read that statement actually is you're asking.
So that was a skill
intelligence-
issue. Oh my fucking days.
Look,
So you're saying you didn't read what I said?
It's an ambiguity issue.
No,
It's a skill issue.
The problem
That
is
cannot
like
be an ambiguity
every
issue.
single fucking
If it was a-
term this guy uses
If it was an ambiguity
is never
issue,
in line
he wouldn't
with
agree
common
with
usage.
me. He
It's
wouldn't
never-
understand what I'm saying.
Look,
He didn't understand what you were saying, I guess, because you meant something kind of really strange. Like, yeah, okay.
Oh my
That's a
days.
skill issue. I think that's the gibberish issue.
Stop trying to save him. You're not doing a good job.
I'm not trying to save it.
Anyways, JamBar, what was you saying? What was you
well,
saying?
I'm saying it happens way too much in my whole conversation with you. Every single time, you said something maybe trivial, maybe obvious, that everybody would agree to, and then it's just some insane definition of the terms you're using. It just happens way too much. And no, it's not on me to ask you what every single term you're using means. I'm going to go off common usage most of the time. If you're using something in a very strange way, you should make that clear to your interlocutor. I mean, it's kind of just insane at this point.
Okay,
Yeah, so
you do realize. Wait.
Just quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
When you ask,
Because you want your shine. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is definitely what I.
You got the attention. All right, go ahead. I'm joking.
Yeah. When you asked him, like, does reality have these resources or whatever, and he's like, if I were asked that question, as I did think through it, and I imagine he did as well, I'd be thinking something like, well, just does the world, reality as a whole, actually have those sort of resources? Does it allow for that to be the case? And I'm like, yeah, the reality actually is that way. I'm not thinking about, but does the nature of being itself in some like more abstract sense, independent from what the actual world is like, does that have that resource? That's not the sort of question I would think you're asking.
Do you know
right?
do you know the reason?
To say about that? Right.
Do you know the reason
I
why?
understand why.
Yeah,
Why the sort of straightforward interpretation of your question is the one that anyone like us would make. But now you're saying it's a skill issue because it didn't make it. It didn't make the other one.
Okay, I'm just like joking around. I do think it's a skill issue though. But okay, back on what you just said. Okay, wait. First off, let me remember what JamBar said. So, the issue is friction. JamBar is lazy. That's just what it is. The reason why he's lazy.
Look,
I'm gonna tell you. 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 There's not an argument. That's just evident. Look, that's just evident a posteriori. Look, the reason why is because I gave him my argument from the essay. I understand it has a lot of premises, like 8 premises, but the Deante, sorry. He agreed with everything. So if he's agreeing with everything, right? And then he's saying after to me, oh, define this, define that. That's why I'm saying it's a skill issue. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if it was
this is what makes these.
I know you want to protect him, but you can see it.
Well, I'm going to explain. What I'm about to say. He literally just said a couple minutes ago, because he's interpreting your questions in the kind of usual sense, right? He doesn't think he has to clarify the meanings of like terms that he thinks have like common.
But he, bro, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
And then it turns out that you do have uncommon meanings or like stipulative definitions behind these things, and then it's like now it's not so clear.
I already told him. Someone told him. I'm a Thomist. I said I'm not a Thomist. I'm an eclectic, right? Meaning I'm not a Thomist. I'm an eclectic. I have a different accent from yours. Haha, so funny. The point is, when I hopped on this live and I joined the live, I told him I'm eclectic, and I said if I come up, just know that I'm not gonna be these like little TikTok boys you're talking to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm Veritas. So I came up here and I told this guy, I gave this guy my argument, and he accepted everything. And then after he accepted everything, he's like, okay, but what do you mean by this and this and this and this and this? When you realize that what you accepted is that God exists. Because all we define as God in classical theism, right, is a necessarily existent being, right, that reduces to divine simplicity because of our metaphysical notions of existence in essence.
Well, wait,
and I gave you the metaphysical notions of existence in essence.
Before you go on, I agreed.
That's the whole point.
I agreed that the proposition God exists is true if all you mean is that there's a being whose essence is existence. I didn't grant anything further, and I also didn't grant that God had any omni-properties or he had
You
intelligence.
granted all the premises, did you or did you not?
Yes, the premises established the conclusion.
So that means you did grant.
Wait, no, my God, shut the fuck up. The premises established the conclusion that there is a being whose existence is his essence.
Okay, but the premises obviously has more content than that. That's just the conclusion. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Do you know what you're talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God!
It sounds like he granted.
The conclusion is one sentence, but if you look, I'm pretty sure as a smart guy, if someone comes to you and he gives you an argument with 8 premises, and you just accept the argument, right, because of its conclusion, which is one sentence, and then the person tells you, okay, but that means you have to accept this and this and this, and you didn't read the premises, right? So you didn't know what you accepted, then that's just slow. That's what Cardi B and those rappers do when they sign a contract. They don't know the details, and they sell their soul and stuff. That's what you're doing, bro. You're selling your soul on live because you don't know what you're talking about. You didn't read my argument. You didn't understand what I said, and you accepted everything. That's just what people. That's what people that don't know what like that. Like, that's just dumb. Like, what? What the fuck is he talking about?
The point.
Can you come off mute?
Oh my God! The point in giving arguments is to establish some conclusion. If you're just going to throw random things in there, like if I give you an argument and the conclusion is God exists.
My argument, brother.
If I give you an argument, let's say that possibly God exists, possibly necessarily God exists, thus racism is a good thing, thus God exists. That's not how arguments are supposed to work.
That wouldn't even make any sense, because then
you're not supposed to put random crap. Look, you're not supposed to put in everyday conversations
that would just be formally invalid.
These formal arguments. You're not supposed to put random crap that's not.
If you grant
established in the argument,
it would be invalid in our system because it's valid. It would be invalid in our system. It's invalid in my system. It's not invalid in contemporary logic, no. But it would be invalid in my system because there is going to be sophistic
You have a
methods.
non-monotonic system.
I have a term. What the fuck did you just say, bro? I didn't even know what you just said.
He said non-monotonic, so if you add another premise, it can actually negate the conclusion.
No, I do not have that trash ass system. But the point is,
then you're committed to this. You're committed. That's valid. Fuck ass.
no, Damas. Look, the whole point is JamBar, because I think you're trying to save your face.
No, wait.
We're not
moving on from this. We're not being moving on.
Now you want to stay on the dumb point.
JamBar sees a point about.
But the issue is everyone's been here. Everyone's been here from the beginning, and they know you don't know what you're doing. So even if you're trying to save your face,
you have a bunch of your friends here who probably don't understand philosophy any better than you do. A lot of them,
I don't even know some of these guys. I don't even have them.
I don't give a fuck what these people in chat on TikTok think of my philosophy abilities. It doesn't reflect anything.
I didn't ask you if you did give a fuck. So why are you telling me?
Look, it's not representative of your actual philosophy abilities. If you ask these people...
Look, guys, I think that's enough. I think we should give a Monkey Boy.
Give me the big. Actually, you know what?
Give him Monkey Boy. That's enough.
Just bring Monkey Boy, bro.
But it's two guys, Jamari versus JamBar. So far, no mutual agreement.
This is like the silliest thing. He says a bunch of claims. He makes a bunch of wild claims. He jumps to a bunch of conclusions. He uses words in weird, strange, esoteric ways. And then he laughs at you for not understanding them. It's like one of the worst.
By the way, Veritas, I thought you were a Thomist. That's why I told them that you're probably a Thomist.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
That's where they got the idea from. I'm sorry, man. I didn't.
Yeah, no, it's calm.
What's the difference between Thomism and
I don't even understand what the guy below me is even talking about. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't even hear him.
What's the difference between, you said you're an eclectic versus not a Thomist? Like what's the difference here?
Eclectics are more like Franciscan. So in Catholic theology, you have different schools of thought, right? You have the Dominican school, which pertains to Aquinas and a couple of others, Peter Lombard, I believe, and a couple others. And you have like Franciscans that pertain to Scotus, Suarez, and a couple of these guys. And eclectics are people that are typically involved with Franciscan school of thoughts, or the Salamancan school of thought, and they just engage with like different philosophies that differ from the common views seen today, especially on TikTok with TikTok thumbs. So that's the whole point.
But I mean, there's some commonalities there, right? Because I mean, you're still taking on the essence.
The commonality is that we're saved and we're Christian. That's the commonality. Because the whole point is that
there's other commonalities too, presumably, right? You still think,
bro? It's not. The point is that it's not that significant. Like eclectics are sufficiently distinguished because they don't take. You do realize that to be a Thomist, you have to consume or take in all the Thomistic principles, and you can be an eclectic and deny that there's a real distinction between this.
No. You got me wrong. I'm not supposing that they are the same, but I'm saying there's some things that it seems like you believe that Thomists believe, right? In terms of like things being having existence and essence and other things like that Thomists would assent to. I mean, Thomistic account of change as well. Like, I mean, it sounds like
nah, the Thomistic account of change is different. But the whole point is like eclectics aren't Thomists it's like asking a logical.
I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing that they aren't Thomists. I was trying to, because it sounds like a lot of the things you said would be acceptable to a Thomist, and I was just trying to see really which of those commitments you do have in common. But never mind, it's fine.
Yeah, no, it's calm, brother. And JamBar was joking. I apologize if I was talking to you rudely and stuff. But Monkey Boy, do you want to have a conversation, or because I'm pretty much out of here? That was a good conversation, a good discussion.
I don't know if he hears you though.
Monkey Boy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're lagging
Yeah,
a bit, though.
I said, do you want to have a conversation or?
No, I don't.
Yeah, JamBar, you need to read up. I think that's the issue.
Wait, you don't. Wait, Monkey Boy, you don't want to have a conversation?
No, I don't.
Bro's writing that down in the book.
9:52 p.m. UK time. I'm joking.
This is so.
I just love timestamps. I don't know why.
Pull out the
is
book,
like-
write it down.
The problem is like the people in chat. It's like a kindergartner telling a PhD student that they need to read
No,
more.
but you can't. Yo, JamBar, you can't do that because the chat was glazing you when you was giving basic critiques to that other guy's argument, the Larian
The
guy.
chat-
And you didn't say
the chat
anything. You didn't say
glazes-
anything.
It's like a bunch of people. They're like, keep in mind, they're half listening to live. They're not even like fully tracking the arguments or whatever. No one has that sort of attention span. They're kind of just listening every second and jumping on certain bandwagons that other people in the chat are mentioning.
No,
Like
but do you know what it
that's
is?
exactly what goes on in every single.
Do you know what it is?
No
Though?
one-
Sometimes that happens, but with me, because I make it interesting, they always listen to me, bro.
Nobody was listening to you.
And that's the
Yeah,
truth.
They was listening to me. I put it on everyone's life.
no
in this
one was
live.
listening to you for like more than a couple seconds, except to tag people and comment
That's
with their
just
friends
cap.
that
That is so
JamBar 11 is getting smoked. JamBar 11 needs to read more. JamBar 11 is calm now that Friction is here.
Anyway, can we invite my friend G1, please? Truth Seeker, I know you're
I'm not a mod, but yeah, I mean, if he wishes to talk to someone, then yeah. JamBar, man, not only are the glasses the problem, but you need to be like a human. as well.
Yeah, I want to speak on behalf of the comments. Jam, you got cooked.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck?
Hey man,
That's a
Jam.
good
You
contribution right
was struggling, bro. Friction, you was begging Friction in the DMs.
Wait, what?
You was like, Friction, please, bro, please.
Wait, what the fuck?
I know you looked at
Unbelievable.
Monkey Boy. You was like, Monkey Boy, when you gonna tag in? Monkey Boy, come.
No, but like,
Hey, man.
Veritas and G1 are like twins. They're siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Veritas.
But G1 knows more than, that's why yo JamBar, during a certain point of our conversation, I even wanted you to talk to G1 because G1 knows more than me when it comes to philosophy. So
Wait, okay, I have a question though. Wait, let me ask G1 a philosophy question. Okay, let me think of a good one. What is intuitionism about mathematics?
But I haven't read about that.
Okay, let me
You see
ask.
that? But I think that's an answer.
wait,
enough.
isn't
I can that's an answer enough because I can recognize when I don't know things, but you can't. That's the problem
yeah.
there.
No, but the problem is like you wouldn't
That's the
know the
problem
vast
there.
majority. The vast
Yeah, but that's the
majority.
problem. But that's the problem because during this conversation, right, you kept accepting things that you don't know, right? A philosopher will not accept
Because
things
I
you don't
obviously
know.
read that they have
You
the
gotta
problem
recognize the
with
limits, bro. What kind of philosophy student are you, bro? Like you do politics? Like what's going
Okay,
on?
what is the difference between semantics and pragmatics in philosophy of language?
I don't know, bro. I already told you,
See, I
bro.
could
I don't do
ask you
philosophy.
like 15 different basic philosophy questions. You wouldn't know a single one. So I don't know why.
You're right. I'm a layman, bro. I'm a layman, bro. I'm a layman. But you got cooked by someone who doesn't go to any philosophy school, bro. How do you feel?
I feel like you're not the right person to assess that.
Whoa! Friction did say that you gotta read more, bro. So can Friction
is
assist that, bro?
Friction is joking, bro.
Are you sure? I don't think he is. I don't think he is. Friction didn't say I'm joking, did he? Now.
This is so stupid.
So now you're getting.
joking. I don't think he is.
I don't think he is, bro. I don't know why you're trying to.
Friction's on mute right now. Yo, Friction, come off mute. Friction, come off mute. Oh my god.
Jam.
Oh my
you
days.
change your name to JamBar.
Oh my days, man. Nah, that is funny. You're saying invite you, bro.
Somebody said Jam Ibn Veritas in the comments. Or the comments are crazy.
He mugs though. He mugs. Wait,
Chat.
is this G1's second account? I think. Oh, invite G1 up. Invite G1.
Julian, there was something in the chat about how like you were begging me, and I'm like, yeah. Once the EBT checks cleared, I came in.
But it's crazy because Veritas Deep is crazy. Friction still hasn't said he's choking. I know Friction's looking at some philosophical books to send to Jam, bro.
Oh no.
Yeah,
But hey, man.
I
Like Jam, bro.
recommend.
You recommend what?
So I recommend one paper. It's called Grim Reaper Paradoxes and Patchwork Principle.
Yeah,
severing the case for causal.
I don't think I would come to you to know anything about philosophy. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'll probably go to like.
recommend.
I want to go to like Veritas. I want to go to Friction. I'm gonna go to Monkey Bar because I didn't even know you was a philosophy student until someone made mention of it. So what are you doing? Are you sleeping in the classes or something? What's going on?
This is definitely gonna get used in the next tier list.
Yeah, like Jam, are you
Veritas
sleeping in
was
the
farming that
classes?
tier list, bro. Just admit it.
Like Jam, are you sleeping in the classes, bro? What's going on, bro?
Look, I honestly, I
Like, are you not revising, Jam? Jam, you don't revise. You just go in
we
there,
don't
like.
use the word revising in America. It's not.
So
the
are you
UK.
studying? Are you studying? Because it doesn't seem like you're studying.
Look, I said I can ask you 15 very basic philosophy questions. You wouldn't know
I
a
already
single
told you
one.
I'm a layman.
Like,
I don't know anything about philosophy.
okay, then how are you going to make the assessment I lost?
Because of the data that was presented to me, friction knows moving you in philosophy, right?
Friction was what?
Friction knows moving you in philosophy, right?
Moving in philosophy?
Okay, now this guy has a chucking issue. Does friction know moving you on philosophy?
Well, of course.
And has friction told you to study more on philosophy?
Oh my, this is so stupid. He's joking.
So that's my reason. So that's my reason.
And he's
So that's my reason, bro.
And every time
You can't even track a layman.
layman.
That's crazy, bro. You can't even track a
Bro,
layman.
I've known Friction for
Oh my
about,
goodness.
like, I've known
never seen this guy
Friction
before
for
in my
like
life.
4 or 5
can't
years.
even
Yeah,
check a
and
layman.
Friction is
I've
giving
never
you
seen this guy
advice.
before in my life.
He's giving you advice, my bro. I've had people do that to me,
bro.
I've never seen this guy before in my life, but I do have a strong impression that he's kind of like a low tier. I think is a technical term. But I don't know. But
Yeah, exactly. Friction. That's what I'm saying. I'm a low tier, and a low tier is telling him that he doesn't even know anything. That's crazy.
no, I'm saying JamBar is a low tier.
Oh, Jambo's a low tier. Oh yeah, I don't think he makes on the tier list. I don't think he makes on the tier list. Friction. I ain't gonna lie.
This is crazy.
Maybe. Hey, yo, Friction. Do you know Q-Top?
I do know Q-Top, yeah.
Yeah, so Q-Top and I think who do you think would win? Honestly speaking, I feel this might be pretty hard. Friction or Q-Top?
Depends who pulls out the gun first.
Oh, yeah.
Oh damn, that's crazy. Yeah, let me leave him come back, bro. My team's glitching.
I do remember when he pulled out a gun on me. I was like, this one.
Wait, someone said
It all comes down to that, I guess.
Caleb said philosophy school of Cardi B.
Okay. This is actually very funny.
Oh my god, no, that was funny.
This is so stupid.
Maybe like try arm wrestling or something. I don't know, man.
Why is Zay? Yo, Zay, don't kill me, bro.
Please send me all your philosophy recommendations so I can read and get better. I want to be able to deliver these thought-provoking, life-changing arguments.
Read the Summa, bro. Become Catholic at this point.
You haven't read the Summa. Like, no one's read the 1,000 pages of
Isn't it
Summa.
like 4,500
I'll admit
pages
it. I've read like maybe 5% of it. Not even that.
There's maybe a few texts of the Summa that people actually read.
I think I had the whole thing saved, and it's like over 4,000 pages, isn't it? Like everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's thousands of pages. I don't know exactly.
There's even,
I thought it was like 4,500.
I think that's the shortened version. I got the one with like over 5K pages.
Oh shit.
Includes commentaries and stuff. Yeah.
But I don't think the goal is to read anymore because these people admittedly haven't read that much, and apparently they're still destroying. So,
Jam, just chill, bro. It's okay.
Not to read.
It's just TikTok, man.
It's 6,000 or 7,000 pages.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah, maybe the goal is just to use very like crazy language, like God is reality. Yeah, I know.
We're moving past this now, so.
Wait, why does Monkey Boy's mic
We got
sound so
Nightcloud
bad?
in the comments.
Do you have a... Did you
Case
change your
reads-
setup?
You said what?
Your mic sounds so good. Do you change your setup?
Yeah, I'm on PC now.
What'd you do?
And I'm streaming to YouTube.
Jam's aura is an overdraft.
Oh, right. That's where you're... Was that the technical, like, troubleshooting you were doing earlier?
Yeah. Took forever.
Is it possible for me to join lives on my PC?
You need a TikTok studio thing, right?
You need TikTok Studio. No, I think you can only go live on TikTok Studio, though.
Oh, but you can't join
Maybe
it.
I'm wrong. I'm not entirely
I think you need for both. For both.
No, but can you join the live on TikTok Studio is what I'm wondering. Because I think I installed that app at some point.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'd have to check that out.
I don't think I have access to it. Don't you need like a certain number of followers to have access to it?
It's super strict. I got denied like at least 7 times before I got it.
It's super strict. Your views just weren't hidden. Lucky boy moves. Mistaken says, Jambar 11, how does it feel to lose? Excellent. Ebo, Uncle Ruckus.
But I'm gonna remove True Seeker 2 to make space for the panel. Alright. Is he there?
Yeah. Who?
I'm saying I'm gonna remove you to make panel space on the panel.
Oh, okay. I'll just drop down.
That word. Yeah, we got all the people from the chat requesting. I don't know if this guy seems like he might not be a sub right now.
You're kind of embarrassing for filmmates. Thank you.